Right, I've got these two MacBooks side by side. This is the M1 and this is the Intel. This is the Geekbench I'm going to run on both of these. So MacBook Pro 13-inch, late 2020. It's got the OS, which is 11.2.3, which is the current build. Processor, the Apple M1. It says it at 3.19 gigahertz with 16 gigabytes of memory. The Intel, same again, so MacBook Pro 13-inch, mid 2020. OS is the same, 11.2.3. The processor is the Intel Core i7 at 2.3 gigahertz with 16 gigabytes of memory. So, down here it says CPU architecture, Apple Silicon, CPU architecture, Intel. So I'm going to run both these at the same time. So this is quad core and this is 8 core. So I'm going to quickly run these tests now. So I'll do 3, 2, 1, click, and start. Try to do that as synchronized as possible. The M1 is ever so slightly ahead. It keeps doing the next one first. It'll be interesting to see how quickly it goes through these tests and at what scores they get. So on this Geekbench it says that the M1 is running at 3.19 gigahertz compared to the Intel at 2.3. This one's on navigation, HTML5, SQLite. This one's now and it's gone to navigation, HTML5. So it is quite behind. It'll be interesting to see exactly the difference at the end. 1 minute 30 in. Make sure I get ready to do a lap counter. When it's finished, uploading results, web page, stop. So that was 146 I got roughly, 145, 146. Intel one's still going. Uploading results, web page done. So that is it done. 2 minutes 9 compared to 146. So you can see here the single core is 1747 compared to 1388 of the Intel. The multi-core score is obviously lower. This is 4,851 on the Intel compared to 7,700 on the M1. Obviously that's going to be higher than that because this has got 8 cores as opposed to the 4 cores on the Intel. They've both got the same software on. Big Sur 11.2.3. Just going through comparing these here. Yeah, M1, 1 processor, 8 cores. Intel, 1 processor, 4 cores. 3.19 gigahertz to the 2.3 gigahertz. Caches are slightly different. There's no level 3 cache on the M1. 16 gig of RAM. It doesn't say the speed of the RAM on the M1. This is 1866 on the Intel. LP DDR4. So all these are pretty much the same. Oh, that's much higher. But other than that, they look pretty similar. I'm not going to go through all of these individually. That's fine. Right, I'm going to minimise this. And we're going to run the, let's reset that. I'm going to run the compute tests. So same again. 3, 2, 1, click, start. Let's see what these do. The M1 is ahead. It'll be interesting to see how quickly this gets through this test and what the results are. Done. 38 seconds. Uploading results, done. So 38 seconds to 56 seconds. So Geekbench score, well, big difference. 19,000 on the M1, 9,000 on the Intel. I'm now going to run the Blackmagic disk speed test on both the M1 and the Intel. See if there's any differences there. I'm going to click these both at the same time. 3, 2, 1, click. 2.7 to 2.4 and 2.8 to 1. Yeah, the results are slightly better. So that's 2.7 on there, 2.5 on there. So the write speed's pretty similar, but the read speed's 2,800 compared to 2,000 there. So the M1 is faster storage. I'm going to do a quick export in iMove just to see the performance difference between the two. And I'm going to grab my iPad here, set that up for a timer, and what I'm just going to do is quickly export these and we'll see the difference in the speed. So share to a file, share to a file on both of these. It's 1080p, 1080p, so I've left both these the same. The estimated time here is 30 minutes and it's 4.56 gig, same on both. So I'm going to click on next on both of these. It's going to choose the location, it's going to save it to desktop on both. As soon as I click on save, it will start the export. So I'm going to do this at the same time. So 3, 2, 1, click and start that. So that's now started. Up here is the progress bar. Or not. Oh yeah, it is there. I wonder what's happening there. So click on that. And click on that. So just as exporting MacBook, and this says 4 minutes and this says 7 minutes. So we'll watch and see how that gets on. So the M1 is about a quarter way through, or just over a quarter way through. And the Intel is about 10%. So we're almost 2 minutes in. The M1 says 3 minutes remaining. The Intel says 5 minutes. Looking at these progress bars, the Intel has just got to 0.25%. The M1 just hit 50%. It's interesting to note that none of the fans have kicked in. Just going to touch those screens there to stop them going dim, because both of these are running on battery. The M1 is just reaching 75%. The Intel hasn't even reached 50% yet. The Intel's now reached 50%. The M1 says 1 minute remaining. Right, the M1's almost finished. 9 seconds, 8, 7, 6, 5. So I'll wait for this message to disappear. I'm going to do the lap time. There you go. So that was 4 minutes 42. It will pop up another message up here in a minute saying export complete, but I'll just wait till the bar disappeared. So on here on the Intel, 2 minutes remaining still. There you go, there's this save successful window pop up. Just wake that up so it doesn't go to sleep. Do the same one there. So the Intel, still 2 minutes remaining. The Intel's now 75% complete. It's been over a minute longer now. So it's still going. Estimated 1 minute remaining. It's now taken a whole 2 minutes longer than the M1. It's got about 95% now. So that's 7 minutes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Done. 7 minutes 20. So that's the difference. So 4 minutes 42 for the M1 Apple Silicon and 7 minutes 20 for the Intel i7 quad core 2.3 gigahertz. Both of these have 16 gig of RAM, so it's very interesting to see how much faster the Apple Silicon actually is.